Hey guys, so not a live video, and I had to come out to a very special place to do it. So if you hear noises and such in the background, that's just because there's people. So what happened to the sergeant? I haven't told that story, and I literally had to come out to a special place to actually tell it to you guys. And there's reasons for that. So let's go to the edge. Let me show you guys island. You see that island there? It's not real much. You can see some movement down on the water line, some swans. Well, come winter time, this lake mostly freezes up. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a walk and talk. Also, I hope you can hear me because I don't have my lav mic or anything like that. I didn't want to look like a YouTuber out here. But yeah, so this lake kind of freezes over mostly in the winter time, and you can get to that island rather easily. Well, one of the things people don't really realize about a lot of the Canadian national parks is they're built on or around areas that have really strong Manitous. I already mentioned Manitou previously, especially on Manitoulin Island. But the thing with Manitou is they have a lot of power, and so weird shit tends to happen near them. Not necessarily they cause weird shit, but kind of like weird shit magnets. Kind of like me. Look at that. Yeah, anyways, Elk Island National Park has two huge Manitou. One of them lives on that island. The other one lives a bit more that way. So if you're coming in from the south and you're by Moss Lake, not that far from there. Anyways, we got a call. It was about 18 months or so after Pickerton Pigfucker's farm. I refuse to say his name properly. Anyways, that there was something weird happening out here. And since it's a national park, RCMP, basically the proper people were already read in. So we came out. And all of a sudden, so there's a bunch of little places and stuff like that that you can park and camp here. It's actually, if you ever get a chance, Elk Island National Park, only like 35 minutes away from Edmonton. It's like 8 minutes away from Lamont, which, by the way, is a great place to pick up your supplies for coming out here. We got a little bit of a blue-green algae problem on the lake right now. I'm guessing the Manitou ain't exactly happy. But yeah, anyways, we come out to Stoughton and have ourselves a little bit of a sit down and try to figure out what's going on, because we can see it's wintertime, lake is frozen, but it's like frozen lakes are dangerous because you're going to have some thin ice and shit like that, but you're also going to have kind of a weird feeling on some of them. Well, this one had snow and ice and just blizzard, but it was really centralized just past the theater, right where that island is. So we get out there and we see this, and I got two people with me, and they're from one's a National Park Service rep who's read in, and one's an RCMP officer, John Davies. Now, John was not only read in, but John had dealt with his own weird shit back home in Moose Jaw. And if you want a fucked up song, look up for I've Been to Moose Jaw, Now I Can Die. Anyways, I'm sorry if my voice kind of starts to go. I'm still recovering from a tonsillitis, so sometimes a peaceful day is more healing than anything else. Anyways, we're out here, and I got the two guys with me, and I don't remember the park National Park Service person's name, but we're standing at the theater, and we've got Just basic rucks with a little bit of, like, I've got my standard gear, my machete, a blessed knife, a club, salt, sage, sweetgrass, a bunch of other stuff that had been given to me in the 18 months in Pickerton Pigfucker's farm. Some Willy Pete's, stuff like that. So anyways, we see this and decide, okay, well, we're gonna have to figure out what's going on. We're gonna go out there. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Take only pictures, leave only footprints. And if you drop your fucking coffee cup, try and find a stick to pick it up. Anyways, sorry, a little bit of a rant. Actually, the perfect time to talk about it because look. Yeah, actually talks about the little creatures below. Truthfully, the blue-green algae kind of blocks a lot of the stuff out here right now. Maybe I'll have to see what I can do. Not like there's going to be a lot I can do environmentally, but maybe see if I can get my ass out to that island and see if that manatee's still pissed off. Anyways, yeah, we get... I like this spot. I'm going to sit here. We get out there, and there's just this swirling vortex of ice and nastiness, and it doesn't feel right. And even, well, there's a little bit of rot coming off the algae. Oh well, fuck it. I'm used to things smelling like rot. Anyways, we get out to the island, and there's just this cold, weird feeling. And now, come wintertime, you can do winter camps in some national parks, but not typically outside of like the regular camping areas. Like you won't have access to the running water or anything like that, but you should be able to get firewood and a few other things. But the backwoods camping is usually shut down. And as far as I'm aware, and I even asked today and they said, not really. There's no camping on the islands. Even when you're doing your little canoe or kayak trip, you could stop off on them, but you can't really go to them. I'm getting closer to the island, and there's a couple of people kayaking right near the swans. I'm just hoping they don't go close, because swans can be utter dicks. Swans are making a beeline for them. Anyways. Yep. Okay. It feels weird as I'm approaching the island. Especially all calm and everything, with a knife and a few little things on me and a cup of coffee so I can keep talking. But yeah, anyways. The island itself felt weird, but we get about 20 meters in. Pretty much, let me see if I can show you. Okay, so you can see that point there where the bird is. About 20 meters in from straight ahead of me. Sort of where, let's see if I can line up with the duck. Oh, there's another bench. Duck. Duck. Yeah, basically straight ahead. This is actually where we walked off from, because it was the closest thing. Didn't quite look like this. This is obviously a few years back. But anyways, it feels weird staring at that thing. No, I think it's just algae. It's just no weird feeling coming off of the lake or anything. Anyways, at that time, we get about 20 meters in, and there's a campsite. Crude, but like there's a couple of tents and some of those like pelican boxes. I'm going to call them otter boxes, but I think otter boxes are the smaller ones. Pelican containers that you put like really expensive equipment and shit in. I didn't want to cough on the camera. But yeah, anyways, we get out there and there's a couple of those, and there's a weird smell in the air, and there's just this localized swirl in the middle of it. And of course, the park ranger, not really, like they're read in, but you're a national park service officer, and someone's where they shouldn't be. The first thing you're going to do is yell at them. That's exactly what he did. He yelled out, hey, you're not supposed to be camping here. What's going on? Little snow vortex continues. We end up with 2 people coming out of each one of those tents, which honestly, I didn't think they were that big on the inside, because they're like
maybe a 2-person tent. You know, when you buy one from Walmart and it says 2-person, but in reality it's like you and your ruck and that's about it, or you and your dog. Well, anyways, 2 people come out of each one of those tents and they're just blank. Like they look like nobody's home, basically, right? They're people, but there's nobody home. Anyways, uh, they run right the fuck at us. 2 of them are barehanded. One of them grabbed like a, sequanimal, losing words in English every once in a while. Um, oh, branch. Not really a branch, a stick, but like, sorry, my nose is running. But it's as thick as my forearm. And the other one picks up a rock, which was right around where their fireplace was. And that's where that weird smell was coming from. They had burned some herbs or chemicals or something like that in there. But, anyways, one with a stick goes after RCMP officer, and one with a rock goes after me. I'm just going to continue my walk just so I don't disturb people with my story. And we end up both kind of dealing with them handily, but the 2 unarmed ones go after the National Park Service guy. And he gets knocked to the ground and he hits his head pretty damn hard, like hard enough you could hear the thunk. And he's out like a light. So I draw my machete and I start going towards the swirling mass of God knows what. And I look at the ground and there's weird little etchings on the ground. So I take a look a little bit closer. I don't want to touch this thing, but weird etchings actually say property of the government of Canada. Department H. And I was like, fuck you, you assholes. If you remember, Department H and I have a bit of a history. So, yeah, one sec. But yeah, a bit of a history with the resurrection project of theirs. And so I grab some salt and I throw it into the vortex, just figuring, just disturb whatever weirdness is going on here, because I don't like this. So, yeah, salt hits the vortex. Vortex screams. And I mean, it sounded like a ferret, a badger, and a human were put into a blender and put on puree. Like, it's fucked. So, vortex screams and just kind of comes apart. And in the middle of it is a fucking sergeant. Mad. Like, I don't mean pissed off, I mean like out of his mind madness. Like, Shea Goroth got in there and fucked with him, that kind of shit. Cthulhu decided to make him his bitch. So, sorry, this part's a little bit harder. Sergeant lunges at me, knocks the machete out of my hand. Oh, look, let's defer emotions for a moment. In case any of you don't know, that's what it looks like when a beaver takes down a tree. So, we used to have a lot of those when I was building golf courses. Anyways, we knocks the machete out of my hand and we grapple. I get hit in the face hard. And I'm no stranger to get hit in the face. I mean, I had Muay Thai since I was 18, doing martial arts on and off since I was about 5 or 6. I was reminiscing the other day about a time in junior high when I was in a drama play and I got smoked in the head with a full can of soda and then bounced my goddamn head off the concrete hard enough for a concussion. So, getting hit in the head, kind of something I'm used to. This hurt. Like, it was like there was cold behind it. So, he hits me once, and he hits me again. Third hit, I put the blessed blade between his ribs, and he collapsed. The sergeant had been brought back as a revenant of some sort. So me and Jamie grabbed the sergeant's body. There's enough firewood and everything around, and I tell him who this guy is, what the fuck is going on. And Jamie, like I said, he had to deal with his own shit in Moose Jaw. So, start up a real big bonfire. By the way, you're not supposed to do that in national parks. But I figured I've got an RCMP officer that's read in. I've got an unconscious fucking... Feels better to be away from the island. I've got an unconscious fucking national park rep. And I've got a revenant that's dead. But the thing with revenants is they're dead, but they're not always dead. It's kind of like me. Fuck off. Eat shit, die slow. Look at the lake. See, you can see on that, you might be able to see that island there. There's some people have stopped off, tied up their canoes, and they're just inside the island. As long as you're careful. Feels better way out here. I'm kind of on a little stretch of land that just overlooks everything. A little pathway down to the water, and we got these nice red chairs. I'm supposed to take photographs of people kissing on them. I don't have Nikki with me, she works nights, and obviously this is daytime. Anyways, we get a big old bonfire going, and we send the Sarge off appropriately. Viking funeral, sort of. And what we did was we took his ashes. So there's a fucked up thing. Sort of like, I guess if you... Oh, you remember that Hellboy movie from a while back where Nimue couldn't be resurrected unless all her pieces were put together? Yeah. Well, burned the sergeant. We spread his ashes a little bit on the island, a little bit in the lake. And then two of us took basically jars of his ashes and we spread them at places that are important to us. So it's more likely he's resting now. I really hope he is, because he was a good man. But yeah. Oh look, paddle boarders. Fuck off, I'm not crying, you're crying. Anyways, I really hope you guys can still hear me. But yeah, because I ain't fucking telling this story again, I can tell you that. Anyways, that's why this one's not live. I obviously have a few issues telling it. But it's been a long time coming, and you guys, you've been decently patient. Except for you, Tenchi. Bastard. Nice Warhammer, by the way. I like that one. Might have a new one coming for me. Any fucking who. Yeah. National parks. Oh, by the way, there's a really interesting thing with the American monuments about some sort of weird shit inside them. I haven't had to deal with them because obviously the United States is outside my jurisdiction. Alaska might still sort of count as part of my jurisdiction. I got a phone call last week asking me to consult on something that was happening up there, but until I get asked to go, I don't. But my passport is up to date and all that shit, just in case. Anyways, yeah, look up the monument monsters. That shit's real. New Wardens down there are fucked. Anyways, Elk Island National Park, great place to visit. Absolutely fucking gorgeous on the lake. Fuck it, I can't remember the name. And yeah, anyways, until next time, guys, you guys stay safe. And remember, Canada's great. Except for Department H occasionally being assholes and the zombies. Bye.